What is going on, Jerome's? Week 2 of Minnesota Vikings OTAs is in the books. They'll be back at TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill next week. And then the week after that, mandatory mini camp. And then a break until late July. Back at TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill for training camp as the Vikings look to ascend the heights. It's like that Price is Right game where the yodeling guy goes up the mountain. That's the Vikings right now, ascending, baby. But we wanted to recap some of the main storylines coming out of Vikings OTAs Week 2. Now, we already covered a couple of them. We did 5 surprise ones in a video yesterday, recapping them. BC Johnson back at it, Guardians of the Galaxy, Chris Reed at that right guard spot, Ed Ingram with the third team. Of course, rookies working their way up. Wyatt Davis, second team left guard. Dalvin, the receiver, and not just lining up in the backfield and throwing the ball, like a legit wide receiver. Kellen Mond actually has coaches that believe in him this year and aren't just trying to stick it to Spielman for drafting him. And then I got 5 texts on it. Diesel, Dalvin, Armand for Watts getting after it out there. So rest of the way, or 10 other storylines coming out of Vikings OTAs. Kicking ain't easy. Now, everyone and their mom thought Greg Joseph had the job locked up. Outside of the Cardinals kick last year, he had a phenomenal season, and in terms of recent Vikings kicking history, he did pretty damn good. But Gabe Brkic, coming in from the University of Oklahoma, big-time leg, big-time cockiness, cool under pressure as well. Not going to lie, he kind of reminds me of Justin Tucker. Just a little bit in terms of the ice water in the veins, and just watching his personality when he was kicking Oklahoma. Like, he doesn't have a conscience, and I mean that in the most positive way when it comes to being a kicker, because I don't know. Kicking is such a mental thing. Like, they're all amazing athletes. They all can kick the ball, but who can make the play under pressure and not fold? I think Brkic has that gene in him, and we'll see what happens with the competition. I think that the most likely outcome is that they'll have one on the roster, have one on the practice squad, because you can never have enough kickers, and you can have 16 guys on the practice squad. Next up, storyline number 2, Vikings OTAs. Offense will be day and night different. Now, we knew this coming in. Kevin O'Connell coming over from the Rams, running a lot of 11 personnel, winning a Super Bowl, as opposed to run, pass, punt, run, pass, punt, run, pass, punt. So bringing this offense out of the Delaware wing tee, bringing it into the 22nd century will be fantastic. Next up, storyline number 3 coming out of Vikings OTAs. Dancer matured, ready to rock and roll. Now, all the hype is around Andrew Booth Jr., the second-round pick out of Clemson, as well as to a degree, fourth-round pick of Caleb Evans out of Mizzou via Tulsa. Now, yes, respect to them, but Dancer still got something to prove, and I am still rooting for Dancer. The needle, he's added some weight. I think that he's definitely matured and grown as a professional versus last year. I mean, there's a lot of frustration, understandable, the way that things were going and the way that favorites were played in the secondary, but I still think that number 3 has a chance to combine with number 7 and number 23 and have a nice trio of outside corners on the outside, as well as Caleb Evans will get in there as well. Next up, storyline number 4, Vikings OTAs. Daniil and Za'Darius will be a problem. Now, we knew this. Yeah, we knew this when they kept Daniil in the fold. They paid him the roster bonus, and then also they signed Za'Darius Smith coming over for the greasy grimy Green Bay Packers. If Book can stay healthy, knocking on all the wood, it's going to be a problem. And you got guys like Ed Donatel and Kevin O'Connell and Patrick Peterson talking about the way that they look in this new defense. And yes, it is no pads and no contact, but just seeing them in different positions. Well, Za'Darius in his traditional position, but Daniil being lined up all over the place. Baby, the Vikings pass rush is going to be difficult to deal with, man, and that makes me very, very excited. Next up, thing number 5, OTAs. Rookies earning their stripes. Now, this isn't different. This isn't different than any other team, right? Especially OTAs and the start of training camp to a degree. Rookies, even high, first round and day 2 picks, will be running with the 3s and the 4s. Veterans will get the opportunities. But I feel like the mentality will be different, because you knew with Zimmer, rookies were going to be buried. Unless they're a guy like Eric Kendricks coming in, they were just going to be buried on the depth chart. They weren't going to get the time of day. Ties, and even not so much ties, will go to the veterans, and that's frustrating, man, especially when these rookies have a chance to come in. Like, this isn't the 70s and 80s where you draft a rookie and he sits on your bench for 4 or 5 years, where he gets some season in before he takes over the reins. This ain't it, man. Like, you have to get your value now because of the rookie wage scale, especially non-first-round picks. You have 4 years. You have 4 years to get the value on them. So kickstart my heart, kickstart the clock on some of these young players and get after it. Next up, thing number 6 from Vikings OTAs Week 2. punt returner. So ISM, Jalen Naylor, KJ Osborne are the three that new special teams coordinator Matt Daniels talked about are possibly returning punts. I think that they should throw a guy like BC Johnson, who returned a lot of punts at Colorado State. I think Ty Chandler, who has that ability from UNC and Tennessee, could be thrown in the mix as well. Hell, King Kene. I mean, if you're going to try and turn ISM, who was only a kick returner at Iowa, into a punt returner, why not do the same thing with King Kene? I mean, Kenne's already proven that he's one of the best kick returners in the game. Why not make him a return specialist until he takes over at running back? So it's something to watch for. I don't know if a singular person will take the job. It may be a platoon to start, but we'll go from there. Next up, storyline number 7 from OTAs week 2, 3 safety looks. Now, we've seen this throughout OTA so far. There have been spots where Harrison and rookie Lewis Cine and Cameron Bynum have been involved. And I think it makes a lot of sense because even though the Vikings definitely upgraded the cornerback room, safety's looking pretty damn good because Lewis Cine is going to be hard to keep off the field, and Cameron Bynum showed enough last year, and I think is maturing in year 2, that he's going to be a guy that's going to be difficult to take off the field as well, both as a free safety as well as working in the slot or some cornerback work. And of course, you're not taking Harrison Smith off the field, so I think the Vikings will run a lot more big nickel type looks with Bynum working from the slot in a honey badger type role. Can't wait to see him, man. Next up, thing number 8. Vikings OTAs. Ezra cemented the spot. Now, that had been up in the air where maybe with the new scheme, maybe Ezra wasn't promised his left guard spot, but Kevin O'Connell backed up his words after the draft where he said that the Vikings had 4 offensive line spots solidified, and Ezra is going to be that guy starting at left guard going forward. I don't think that he loses his spot to Ed Ingram. I don't think he loses his spot to Wyatt Davis or Jesse Davis or any type of Davis, right? The only spot open right now is right guard, and I think it's still going to be Chris Reed's job to lose. Next up, thing number 9 from Vikings OTAs, second-year studs. So we already talked about guys like Cameron Bynum, but Christian Darrisaw. The amazing thing about Christian Darrisaw is that he played pretty damn well last year as a rookie at left tackle, and it was bereft of OTA work. He got minimal training camp work in because he was coming back from that core muscle surgery. So this is the first real offseason that he's having where he can work hand in glove, have every single snap in OTAs that he can get with the new coaching staff, with the new scheme. And I think that he has a chance to, it chokes me up inside just talking about the future of Christian Darrisaw, man, because he played the majority of his final year at Virginia Tech with that core muscle injury. So we're just scratching the surface of what this kid can be. I think that he easily could be a Pro Bowl left tackle. I think the Vikings may have their bookends set in place. So I can't wait to see what he does in year 2 fully healthy. Also, Janarius Robinson, Patrick Jones II. I mean, we saw a little bit of Patrick Jones last year. I think that he does have some Everson Griffin in him. But, I mean, Janarius is a freak, man. He's an absolute freak athlete. He was a 5-star at Florida State. He had bad circumstances where he had flip-flopped all over the place in terms of position because of scheme changes and defense coordinator changes. Last year, he was put on IR before training camp. And I think that the Vikings may have just an absolute gem, a diamond in the rough. Things sound good from Janarius Robinson. I think that he could work his way into some pass rushing packages, and it's a lot of fun. Absolutely a lot of fun. Also, Jalen Twyman, man. Woo! Let's go. Pride of Pitt. Lastly, storyline number 10 from Vikings OTAs, week 2, no drama, where it feels weird. As a Vikings fan, it just feels weird where everything is coming up Millhouse. Everything feels nice. I love Polka. It's so nice. Where there's no contract issues. There's no locker room drama. There's no potentially firing the head coach or the GM. There's nothing. There's really nothing. And pretty much to a man, every single player has talked about how the atmosphere and the vibe and the environment has just gotten a lot more positive. And if you watch, the players on Instagram, social media, it does seem like they're having a lot more fun than in previous years. Now, this could be recency bias. It could just be cognitive dissonance. But I think that overall, the culture has changed for the better. And, just being loose and having fun and actually enjoying coming to work, I mean, that could be a massive positive for the Vikings going forward. But that's it. 10 Viking storylines from OTA's week 2. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, stay safe. Do all those things. There you go. If you want to support the work, put a little something in Venmo. You know what to do. But until next time, Skol, production value.